This is the Offer Analysis tab. We've put a lot of work into updating this tab and to make it much more useful for you. So let me go through and first just explain what's going on this page. So up here in row 2, these are for pricing. So obviously whatever you end up with a market price per acre, 100% of that is the market price. But here you can individually set, okay, that you want your blinds at 33% of market, your hybrid low at 20%, your hybrid high at 35%. You can put whatever you want in here, and that will be reflected in your pricing when you upload a list. The second section down here in rows 4 and 5, these are your acre splits. So you get 4 of them. So in this case, this is looking at comps that are between 0 and 0.3 acres, 0.31 acres and 10, and so forth. And down below, you get a list of all of your sub-county areas. In this case, it's zip codes, but it could be anything that you want. And then we've got market price per acre, and that's based upon, that's an average, by the way, not a median. It's an average based upon this many comps. And we have it for each of the acre splits. Then over here, we've got our scatter plot. Very powerful. So this is where you can see all of your outliers visually. Now, we've got 678 comps in this data set, so there's an awful lot going on in here. We might want to narrow that down a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So above that is a table, and I can, for example, I can say, let's just see what's going on between 0.1 and 1 acres. So I'm going to say 0.1 and 1 acres, and notice that the scatter plot changes, and I can see just what's going on in there. You can also look at an individual sub-county area, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But first, I want to show you all of the sections of the offer analysis page. And again, down here it tells you how many comps are that are being shown on the graph, and what the median price per acre is going to be. All right, then if you keep going to the right, there's this whole section over here, and so this is where you can save your splits. So I can bring this whole table and just bring it over here into and I'll copy into this table, or I can do it one sub-county area at a time. I'm going to show you that. But once you build this table over here, this is actually what is feeding into the pricing when you price your list. So we're going to get to that in just a moment. All right, so let's take a look here. Now we've got an awful lot of comps here, 678, but I can see some things going on here. So maybe I get rid of maybe I want to get rid of an outlier. So this is 40 acres for $25. Clearly, that's not right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to comp data. I'm going to sort it by acres, and I've already done that. So it's sorted by acres, and I already forgot how much it was. So let's just go back and look at that one more time. It's 40 acres, I think. 40 acres for $25. So I'm going to come down here. And all right, I see a few things that don't make sense here. $88, or that was $3,500 for 40, so that could be right. Here's 25. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, if I come to the right here, one of the big improvements, as I mentioned previously in comp data, is that you've got the links here, so you don't have to go back to the source tab to get this. So I'm just going to click in here and take a look at this and see if that is a down payment or what is it. It says $9.99, so $349 a month with a down payment. So that's a down payment price. But here's the cash price at $17,900. So instead of deleting this comp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the proper price in here. So $17,900, and that will update across the board. So that's fine. All right, so here we go. And that's fine. That's how you get rid of outliers. And again, we're just looking at this with all of the data together. So if I look in here, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing some consistency from 0 up to about 1 acre. So I'm going to put 1 there. So I'll put 1.01 to start off the second split, and that's going to go up to about 10. I've got 10 in there, so 10.01. And I'm going to bring that, let's just say, up to 100 just for ease. And I've got 100.01 to 1,000. And so this whole table will readjust based upon this. So now this is showing me all the comps that are in 86337 between 0 and 1 acres. There's only one, and therefore the average is 200. But for the next zip code, I've got 66 comps contributing to that, to an average of 515. So that's an awful lot. So that's that could be pretty rock solid. We're going to take a look. Now, there's two ways I can do this. One is I can break this down and just do one zip code at a time, and when I hit this lock button, it'll add it over here and it'll just start building a table. But let's just say that a lot of this I'm just going to go with these splits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the lock, and it says importing all sub-counties will overwrite any locked rows. Do you want to proceed? Yes. And boom, there it is. So now it's all over here. I could price a list based upon this. But I see 86301, and again here, that was right here. This was based on 66 comps. So maybe let's go take a look at that in more detail. And I'm going to click the down arrow here, and these are in numerical order. So I should be able to find it. 86301, there it is. And in a second, the scatter plot will update. You can see always when there's a green bar there that it's thinking. All right, there it is. Kind of bizarre. Look at that straight line of comps right there. So what I might say is that I've got some potentially outliers just within this little data set. Maybe that's an outlier, I'm not sure. 0.22, maybe not. So I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to say that from 0 to 0.5 is a split. And then from 0.501 to, I'm going to go all the way to, well, let's go up to about here, to 2.14. So I'm going to say 501. And what was this? This was 2.14. So 2.14. That would make this 0.2.141, and really just goes up to 1,000 at this point. So I'm just I always use 1,000 just to capture whatever's left, and I'm going to get rid of the fourth split. I don't really need it. So this might make more sense when you do the pricing. So now watch what happens when I go and lock this. It's going to say this will overwrite data that has already been locked. Do you wish to proceed? I'm going to say yes. And boom, it just overwrites it, but only that one row, and it highlights it so you know that you've already taken care of this row. And now, if you want, you can just do one sub-county area at a time, and the balance will just be whatever you just set for the entire county. And when this is all the way you want it to be, you can go ahead and price a list with it. Now, sometimes you want to save an analysis and be able to use it in the future to price another list. So we can call this whatever we want. Let's call this Yavapai. I'm just going to say Yavapai AZ. It automatically puts in today's date there, so there's nothing you can do about that. And you can save 10 analysis at a time. So or in total. So I'm going to hit save. So it is saved now. So now if I come to the drop down here, I can see that I've got my Yavapai list and I can, if I have multiple Yavapai Arizonas, I'll have potentially multiple dates here. I just select the one that I want, which is today's. And so now watch, if I go ahead and clear all the splits. Are you sure you want to clear splits? Yes, I do. Boom, they're all gone. But now I've selected this one and I can just retrieve it and use it in the future. And notice this one still here shows this, it's the right one. So these are all the same except for 86301, which I made some modifications to. So that's it. And then if I wanted to, I could also delete this. I just select the one I want to delete and I'll delete it. And the reason you would do that is because you can only save 10 analyses. So let's just say you want to save an 11th, you're going to have to delete one. So you can select the one that you want to delete, hit the delete button, it'll be gone, and then you can save the new one. And that is pretty much everything on the Offer Analysis tab. Good luck.